Boom. What's going on, guys? Samuel One World from Samuel One World Productions here, back with another tier list again. It's been a while since I've done tier lists. It's been a while since I've got to actually film some videos, but it's been dealing with a lot of life stuff recently and all that stuff. Life's been so, not say it's crazy, but it's just dealing with a lot of changes and dealing with just a lot of adjusting to this and now figuring out what I want and everything. It's been a lot, that's for sure. But still staying positive, so now that obviously it's snowing at the filming this right now and everything, and I figured why not catch up on films and videos I've always wanted to film, or I've been wanting to film for quite a while. And one thing that I've been wanting to do is a tier list on every season of The Amazing Race, which I think for this last 6 months I actually did rewatch every season of the show when I realized that, hey, I never watched the entire show in full. Obviously I've seen some seasons of the show, obviously, but maybe at least the older seasons, I don't think I watched them in their actual entirety, now that I think about it. So I figured, why not do a full-on Amazing Race rewatch? Which is something I was not planning on doing, but I figured, why the hell not? So this is kind of someone who's rewatched every single season of the show. And after I do love The Amazing Race, again, I think I into around the same time I got into Survivor and Big Brother. I think it was season 15 when I started watching as it was airing. I think it was around season 14 when I started to actually get to watch the show and everything and rewatch some of the older seasons. There are a couple I did watch in full, but I don't think I watched all of them in full, which is why I decided to obviously do a rewatch, honestly, and it definitely made me appreciate the show so much more, honestly. And well, I'll say, instead of one season, this is probably one of the more consistent reality shows in terms of quality. At least one I think there's not much any terrible moments. There's a lot more fun, joyfulness. It does go for more of a happy-go-lucky tone. There's not much drama, which honestly seems to be a lot of reality shows these days, honestly. But that's a topic for another day. But I still do enjoy this show. So I'm going to do a tier list style where I rank every single season of The Amazing Race. Tell my thoughts, obviously, just how much I enjoyed the season as a whole, how much I enjoyed the length, how much I enjoyed the moments, what gave me moments, which seasons overall I would come back to rewatch the most. So, again, I got 35 seasons right here, so hope you all enjoy this list. I will leave the tier list ranked down in the description down below if you guys want to do this list, and I would definitely love to know your ranking down below. So, enough being in the bush. Here's my tier list ranking on every single season of The Amazing Race. Again? Okay, this is the tier list for every season of The Amazing Race. The Amazing Race. Dun 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 dun. I had to. Again, 35 seasons here. I think the 36 one's probably starting, but I think it's a case where obviously I would probably what that would be if it went in, so this is just currently all 45 US seasons. I know the international versions, but honestly, I'm playing with the US, so I don't want to run myself out, so yeah. And I got 7 tiers. I got the worst of the worst, which it's self-explanatory. Season I think it's going to be just kind of terrible and the worst. And just seasons that just whatever, mixed bag. Which just season just have 50% good and bad elements to it. Could be better. I will say it's decent at best. And solid to good, I would say solid rush. Great to amazing, I put great win. And I got a tier basically is the winning race, which is basically the top 5 best. The Mount Rushmore of The Amazing Race. The 5 seasons I consider to be top tier. So let's start off. Let's talk about. So let's just get to the tier list. First up, starting with season 1. Again, there was a lot of reality shows. Going back to the first season is definitely an interesting take. Mostly because I think the big issue I have with season 1 is that it's a lot more slow paced than the usual Amazing Race season. And with a lot of seasons of reality shows, it's trying to figure the nicks and what I want to do, and it did have some weird elements to it, from not even being at the pit stop, and aside from limiting the team to the end of the race. Anyway, so it does have elements, but I still think this is a good first season to watch, honestly. It does have a very solid cast. Well, I don't think there's many duds in terms of the teams. A couple of the other teams are not great, interesting, but most of them still do have great relationships, whether it be relationships obviously with each other or from other teams. You do get some fun moments and back and forth, some fun challenges. To really bringing through the concept very well, honestly. 11 teams with not previous relationships racing around the world for $1 million. I can also say the winning team is not the most interesting team in the world, and not that fun about being not, just not the most fun personalities, but you do get the runner-up and Team Guido, Joe and Bill, Kevin and Drew. There are fun characters throughout. Atlanta and Karen do have their moments as well. Like, there are definitely some fun moments and some fun aspects to it, to where you can actually commute first in one leg, and then you get eliminated next leg. And of course, I've got how frequent the fast forwards end up being on this season, or at least in the early era of the show, which makes it more interesting. I'm glad they kind of cut down on later seasons. And so I would put season 1 in the Salt Rush. So it's very slow paced. It's a season that is very slow paced. Honestly, still feeling takes, but I would still give it a watch. And then we get to season 2, which is pretty much mostly the same, just honestly improved aspects of this show, of the season, in terms of the production, in terms of how the season is structured, and Phil actually being pit stops, and much more improved budgets and everything. It's basically just what you from season 1, just a little more improved. Again, you do get a great set of teams, honestly. Again, Taylor Will pretty great, Billy and Paige are pretty great, Oswald and Danny are some of the most funniest players ever, and Chris and Alex are definitely some of my awesome. By the way, I'm not get to spoilers. By the way, I didn't really mention that, but just in case. Obviously, you can't talk about some of these seasons without getting into some spoilers. And it's right in season 2. This is definitely the season that has the closest photo finish out of any season of the show. So Chris and Alex are definitely one of my favorite winning teams in the show, and I definitely enjoyed them throughout, especially with that photo finish. Where they had a lot of back and forth throughout the season to their placements, and it makes the win pretty satisfying. So I really want to put this in Solid Rush to a great win, honestly, but I would say I would say I would put it in Solid Rush. It's definitely the top of that tier at the moment. It's still a really good season, the show. Honestly, again, maybe the pacing still is not the greatest, and maybe some teams are a bit dud and some lengths are better than others, but it's still a worthy season. Then we get to season 3, which is the first season that's going in the great win category. So I do think this is a great season of the show, where, again, the season has 12 teams, and a lot of them are very memorable, and get some very incredible moments. You get teams that may not have the best runs, that are doing great. You also got Flo and Zach, and by the way, I totally blanked about that Flo is one of the most interesting characters in any reality show ever, not just being raised by Emmy. That's most particularly with the meltdowns that she has on this season, which I think kind of infamous for a lot of ways, honestly, and I'm sure she kind of regrets that, honestly. But it does make for interesting. Again, it does make for interesting TV, and it makes for a pretty wild ride throughout. Honestly, to be honest, that's kind of one of the reasons why it's in a great win, because but also because my teams, I think Terry Ian are a great underdog team, Ken and Joe were great, Derek and Drew were actually fun twins against some teams that had some fun downfalls, with one team basically going first, and then showing how major the penalties can be, where they end up being first, and then they basically got a penalty, and they end up being eliminated. Yeah, this has a lot of elements that I do enjoy about the early portion of the season and the show in general. Again, definitely not enough to be top 5, obviously, but there's still a lot to enjoy about the third season. And now I get to season 4, which is the first season that's going in the could be better category. Now, season 4 is probably the most forgettable season of the show, honestly. And it's always been that one season where I think whole reality shows, there's that one season that is not as memorable as others, it's just kind of there. And season 4 pretty much fits that description, honestly. Well, I wouldn't say it's a bad season, I wouldn't say it's a boring season. It's just not really it's just maybe aside from the winner relationship, there's just not much to talk about this season. Like, I really am struggling to figure out what to talk about with this season. That's how much I really maybe aside again for this from the gay couple relationship winning, and it's where a team didn't make it to the finish line, and I mean, first place finishes in the first leg, but aside from that, there's not much to say about the season. Sorry, I wish I had more to say. But now we get to season 5, and of course, season 5 is going in, the first season is going in the Rainy Race category. This is pretty much the definitive Amazing Race season, the true definitive season of the show. The review has like many people, if you were to ask anyone like what is their favorite season of the show, you probably would have season 5 probably be that season. And I mean, truthfully, for good reason, because well, season 5 is a fantastic season of the show, honestly. It's definitely probably my top 3, top 2, honestly. Like, it's actually not my personal favorite, but we'll get into that, honestly. But it's definitely one of it is part of the season of the Amazing Race I would recommend watching to people who want to watch it for the first time. Because honestly, I'm not sure why it hasn't already been said by the season. Like, I know a lot of people probably have this season as their favorites, and yeah, I'm not gonna argue, honestly. It's not me. It's definitely still top 3. It's probably number 2 for being honest. Honestly, it's just a hair very towards one season, which I will get into, but season 5 is amazing, has an incredible cast of characters, probably the best cast in every reality show, honestly. Colin and Christie are probably still the best team of the Amazing Race, but Colin having such incredible moments, with the incident being probably the best moment in the entirety of the Amazing Race, honestly. Chip and Kim having one of the biggest underdog runs ever, Ray and Nicole being fun characters, the bowling moms, Allison for Big Brother having a fun downfall. And this is also the first instance with not elimination legs, which usually were the most kind of boring parts of the first 4 seasons, actually become a little more factor in to where they end up punishing the people who come to last. But though it doesn't really much better, but at least they make them a little more purposeful. Again, what is there to say about season 5? It is an incredible season and definitely one of the best reality TV seasons ever, along with my top number 1, but we'll get into it in a bit. But yeah, season 5 is the first season that's going in the winning race category. And then we get to season 6, which is the first season that's going in the air category. So whereas the season is just meh or meh. It's not really a particularly memorable season. It does have some fun teams. Again, it has a very infamous person with Jonathan, which has a fortunate incident, which I'm not going to talk about because, yeah, I would say you rather watch it for yourself. But I mean, again, this is another season where I don't really have much to say about it, honestly. Again, it's not a boring season, honestly. It doesn't like offend me or anything. I don't think even the worst season of the show does any like offensive stuff similar to like Survivor and Big Brother has done. But again, when it says worse, it's just kind of boring. And that's what season 6 is. Sorry, some season might not have much to say about, but yeah, that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Sorry, I had to. And now we get to what I do think is actually my favorite season of The Amazing Race, and that is season 7, which is absolutely going in the winning race category as in the top 5. Honestly, this actually was the first Amazing Race season I actually watched in full. To be honest, I think it was because Ron and Amber were on the season. I was on for a kick at the time, but season 7 I still think is a fantastic season after the rewatch. Again, another season, like pretty much everything I love about season 5 is pretty much the same here again. Still many memorable character moments, many memorable very memorable crazy moments, a great cast of characters, another underdog winning team. A great back and forth between the long seasons. We got Ron and Amber basically with the stars of this season and really proving that chemistry and that back and forth. Plus, he's like, they pretty much stole the show here, but be inspired for them. The other teams are great, and the other teams have some fun downfalls, and really know it's one of the more unpredictable seasons of the show. Again, there's not really any reason why it bumped a little bit of season 5, because honestly, there definitely is an argument for season 5 being number 1, honestly. And so maybe it's just a little bit of nostalgia that puts season 7 a bit above season 5, but season 7 I do think is an incredible season that embraces everything I love about the show as well. So, in the end, season 7 is my personal favorite season of the show. Finally enough, it goes to what I think is the best season of The Amazing Race, to what I think is the absolute worst season of The Amazing Race. And we get the first season that's going in the Worst of the West category, season 8, Family Edition. And again, this really shouldn't bite everybody, honestly. Because another season I don't know what to say. I think it's a pretty abysmal season. And funny enough, it doesn't do any downright offensive stuff similar to the worst season of Survivor or Big Brother or even Hell's Kitchen or even The Challenge. by the challenge she was kind of phase 2, by the way. But it's just a bit boring. The teams are interesting, and then the concept interesting, and it's definitely proof that family edition is not the best option to do, or at least not how they should execute it, honestly. It's just an abysmally boring season where they make some weird decisions, and there's no not very much legs or anything interesting. It's just a boring. I'm not keep saying boring, but that's the best way to describe it this season, honestly. So I do think it is definitely by a landslide, honestly, by fucking landslide the worst. Like, I think it's probably the only truly downright bad season of the show, for being honest. Is it? Yeah, probably, honestly. And that's, again, like I said before. Like I said before, the show is definitely more consistent than the previous seasons. Even though I think Survivor Big Brother and Hell's Kitchen have like higher highs, but maybe it's definitely a little more consistent than I remember it being. But yeah, again, it shouldn't surprise anybody that season 8 ends up being obviously the worst of the West. And now we get to season 9. Now, it's definitely an interesting season. Now, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel on a rewatch, but I actually got enjoyed this a lot more than I expected, actually, to what I'm putting in the great win category. Again, another season with a very solid cast, and have two teams that basically just get first for most of the leg, but it makes for great TV, and they're actually pretty likable and fascinating teams, actually. Actually, you get some really fun character moments, and the two teams that got out fantastic, but even then you get other great characters throughout, just a simply fun season. And I would say the same thing about season 10 as well. I don't think it's one of the more memorable seasons of the show, honestly, but it's still pretty solid to watch. Tuwa does have kind of not the most interesting final three in the world, if I'm being honest. It does have a great character, it has some fun downfalls, and being the first instance where they actually do have a double elimination leg, so I'm putting it in the solid watch category. Then we get to the first All-Star season. The first Amazing Race All-Stars. All-Stars. Bringing it back 4 more times. And I'm also sure how I was going to feel about the All-Star season after this rewatch, but I'm happy to report that it does actually. It actually is a pretty good season, actually, too. I'm putting it in the solid watch category. I do think in the beginning portion and the end portion do kind of drag a little bit. The first 3 legs are basically like Rama and Amber basically winning the first 3 legs and then basically getting eliminated the next one, honestly, and a lot of placements are mostly the same. So I know that may not make for the most interesting television. And because they had a lot of non-eliminations, it definitely makes the end game kind of drag a little bit, but these they brought back are still fantastic. They have fun downfalls, fun epic moments. And season 10 was also the first instance where for nominations, they have like a mark for elimination thing where they have 30-minute penalties. And it makes for some pretty interesting TV and some pretty interesting moments. Amongst throughout, again, after I mentioned Sean and Mira, also fantastic characters, some of the best Matrix characters ever. And they're fantastic season 5, but they're somehow even more amazing on this season. Oswald Daniel's still great, and Eric Daniel fine, honestly. And we can find out how they end up getting on this season, so like to be on different teams is interesting. Just again, there's actually a lot more fun characters than I remember them being, actually. Overall, just a really fun season seeing these type of players. So it's definitely not the disappointing returning playing season, which there's actually one, but we'll get into that a little later onto the list. Again, the only reason why it's not higher off is just because it does drag a little bit in the beginning and the end game. Again, so I would say it's probably. I think this is perfect. Honestly, I do think this is a good All-Star season, and I overall really enjoyed it. And now I'll say the same thing with season 12, which I think is also a season that has a pretty talented cast. Has a pretty good cast. Again, very interesting winner. Again, it's pretty players I probably would actually enjoy. Like, I got 2 gods that I didn't think I was going to enjoy, but I ended up really enjoying them. You got probably one of the best father pairings in You have one of the best fun shot pairings out of any season of the show with Ron and Christina. Yeah, you're in some great fun that are just fun television. You got some crazy fights, some fun back and forths throughout. Just all around season that just delivers on the pure fun, and so it's going in the great one category. Then we get to season 13, which I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about, but again, definitely doesn't hit the highs of the seasons I mentioned. But again, it's another season that has a mostly solid cast. Again, Nick and Star are basically one of the most dominant teams ever. And they all make for pretty worthy winners. Again, Cantina, Andrew, Dan, Coney Dallas, such as fantastic TV. Maybe again, any season that does kind of drag a few portions and doesn't have the most interesting early teams, but overall, I still the season I would say it's still good. So I'm putting it. I'll say it's the highest of the Star Rush tier so far. And now we're gonna get to season 14, and we got the next season that's going in the running race category. Yes, we're gonna get 3 seasons in this category. Right, season 14 is definitely an epic season. 12, we're in a turning point season that we'll get into. They end up bringing 5 of these teams. Yeah, they end up bringing 5 of these teams in the second chance season. To where that season kind of feels like a sequel to this. But honestly, season 14 has probably the best cast out of any season of the show. To where even the early boots are memorable in one way or another, and every season has great moments. Like, of course, the ones are the ones that end up returning in second chance, like Mel Mike, Mike White. And he's always gonna be great TV, honestly. Then you got Keisha and Jen, who were fun since parents. I ended up enjoying so much more on these rewatches, and also having a fun reason to why they end up getting eliminated. Imagine Luke, which is definitely a top 10 team in my opinion, honestly. And they're just one of the most likable teams ever. With Luke being one of the most likable people ever to be on the show. Show Jimmy Kara are fun characters. Tammy and Victor also great member winners as well. You just got so many fun back and forth and fun U-turn moments. Again, I think anytime the U-turn is actually used, it was actually introduced in season 12, to where they end up having one team basically do the other team to attacks they didn't do, which always makes for fantastic TV, and it's no different here. So all in all, a season that just put a big grin on my face throughout, and I enjoyed every second of it. Again, they usually now have Amanda Chris, which is great TV as well, especially what happens to them when they return and take a chance. All around, season just put a big grin on my face. It's definitely a season I can definitely see it being one of the more rewatchable seasons, and I could definitely enjoy it. Again, still one that they brought back 5 teams. Sorry. I mean, still one that they brought back 5 freaking teams in the second chance season. Truly, that's fucking insane, honestly. But now we actually starting to get to the seasons of the Maze Race where. Sorry. And now we're starting to get to the Maze Race seasons where this is where I actually started watching the Amazing Race as it was airing. So I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about those rewatches. Again, the reason I decided to do this rewatch series because, well, I did not watch these seasons as they were airing. After airing, or I did not watch them in full, but this is where I actually started watching as they're airing. So, somehow I decided to rewatch them as well to see how they were held up upon rewatch. And then we get to season 15, which thankfully does hold up. It's probably the highest of the great winning categories so far. So I do think it has an incredible cast. Again, the only reason why it's not in the top 5 because again it ends up having the first instance, so they eliminate a team before they even saw the finish line, which thank God this is the only time thank the friggin' Lord, that's the only time they end up not doing that. Thank the Lord on that. But the cast itself is fantastic. It's so many memorable characters. Again, Megan trying to be one of the most memorable winning teams, but be one of the most dominant. Sam and Dan having great back and forth, especially with Marie and Tiffany, and who are also great characters. Gary and Matt, are some of the most underrated characters in the entire show. Brian and Erica have a good underdog run. You also got Fight Time Be Easy, who ended up coming back twice in late seasons with all Harlem Globetrotters, and they are just fantastic television. You guys got the whole water slide, infamous water slide moment where one person was just scared to go down water slide and she had a little meltdown about it. And for the fact that boyfriend that team actually is now a country singer. You just get so many fun, great character moments that just made me smile throughout. Again, I think that's the definition of why I love this show. Again, if it wasn't for that Earth Nation, I probably would have put this in top 5, but yeah. I would say it's probably the closest to to that tier so far, but still a fantastic season. Then we get to season 16. This is definitely a season I'm not being extremely high on, but I end up actually dropping down a little bit on rewatch, so it's going in the could be better category. Honestly, so I don't think some of the teams aren't really that memorable. So I did something. One thing I think that it does have some memorable teams. And you got different Jordan and Big Brother here, which they have fun run throughout. You got William Michael, who I think are one of the most underrated teams in the history of the show. Like, listen, a team that basically just went to near last in the first 2 legs and then win the next 3 legs. Like, and they were just like fun characters in general throughout, smiling of it on screen. Green Caleb Randy also most fun TV. Again, also we saw the Cowboys Jen Cord, who is another team that ended up appearing a couple more times in later seasons. And like Jen Cord definitely my top 3. Jen Cord top 3 team, in my opinion. Just fantastic characters, just likable people. Like honestly, I would see these Cowboys in anything. And they enjoy as a team. I also end up appreciating so much more upon rewatch as well. Brett and Katie, not really, honestly. I think I liked them less on rewatch. I know I liked them, honestly. Despite the interesting rivalry with Caleb Brandy. Just most of the other teams are just not that interesting, and just not much interesting in general throughout, aside from those teams. I think there's still enough good quality to where it's still a season I would say it's solid to decent, but again, that just ends up bringing it down a little bit. But thankfully, we get to another fantastic season in season 17, which is going in the great win category. Probably below season 15, but it's still a season I appreciate so much more in this rewatch. I'm more fan it does have another great dynamic cast, so making it back and forth throughout the season. Also, the first time is also a separate season where they actually have an all-women team winning the Amazing Race, which I think makes for a very separate season and also one of the best winning teams in the show's history, in my opinion. Just again, a season of great cast, great characters. That's all I can really say about it, but it delivers on what you want for the Amazing Race. I feel like I might say that for some seasons, but yeah, it is what it is. Okay, I think we're like halfway through the list actually, so hope you all enjoyed this show so far. Again, feel free to hit that like and subscribe button. I would definitely let us know again your tier list down below. I will leave a link to the tier list down below if you guys want to check it out. But now we get to the next returning playing season in season 18, which is based on Unfinished Business, which I'm still waiting people to do that. I'm still, that's a story for another day. That's a story for another day. But I mean, a concept called Unfinished Business, where basically they bring back teams that basically end up faltering the second chance, faltering the first time around, and they're basically going to have a second chance. Where it'll be teams that just got U-turn, teams that end up making a mistake that cost them the race. I mean, this is where we saw the second time we saw Jen Cord, and the second time we saw Fatan Big Easy. So, and thankfully, we have another season that's going in the top 5. Yeah, we only got 4 seasons, and this is the 4th one in the top 5. I mean, you're always going to have one elite returning playing season on any of these shows, and this is no exception. A truly fantastic season where they bring back the right, but again, you have 5 freaking people for these 14, but to where it kind of feels like a sequel to season 14 in a way, but these are still so good. I did really mind, honestly. And honestly, rewatch made me appreciate a lot of those teams, actually. Finding out someone that actually went out, like 4 of them went out actually kind of in a row, actually, which is kind of funny if you think about it. For one, actually, I think they'll actually were the first 4 eliminated, actually, and one that ended up winning the season, which epitomized the whole second chance team. Navigation Gym, which I actually appreciate the win so much more on this rewatch. The golf trials are great. This were I think Malik and the memorable team as well. Also, Stone Justin was fantastic. Fantastic, who went for a team that actually was very dominant a little bit and basically was a team that actually was doing pretty well and then ended up losing that past point in season 15. Like this season was the premiere of the great second chance team. And you get kind of getting a great dynamic cast characters. You all around get a great season to watch. To where it does belong in the top 5. Okay, now we get to season 19. Season I don't have much to say about. I wouldn't say it's a forgettable season, but it's not the most memorable in the world. So I do think there are some memorable teams. It has a memorable double elimination leg and some fun back and forth between a lot of the players, but just nothing that really pops on your screen, if that makes any sense. So it's going in the solid rush category. Then we get to season 20. And we got the first season that's going in the mixed bag category. So I will say, actually, I did bump up a little bit on this season of how we watch. Honestly, so I don't think there are some memorable teams on this season. I think the winning team, Rachel, they have one of the most chaotic teams ever. To, despite their winning actually being the team that actually won the most flags in 8. I totally forgot how dysfunctional that team is actually. And it makes for some pretty entertaining moments. Again, Bob and Barker also one of the most likable teams to be on the show's history. And then on Danger, great TV, Vanessa Ralph and Cabrera, great, but Prince of Thieves is just not the most interesting, and you just don't get many single memorable moments. And then there's Rachel Riley, who I don't think I've mentioned this before on this channel. I'm correct me if I'm wrong here. But Rachel Riley is definitely a reality show tester. Now, I'm always the most divided about. So I'm always the most conflicted I have to feel about her. That's why a lot of people should be like one of the biggest reality TV shows of all time. And obviously, I'm not denying that. It's just don't much well, like, oh my god, that's so entertaining. She's so hilarious. And then a lot of times they're like, oh my god, shut up, oh my god, don't do warning and everything. So I don't like that, but that's kind of what it's about Rachel, honestly. That's why I think she has some good moments. And when I talk about those moments, and because she ended up actually picking up more times to it, she actually ended up having the most legs out of any racer. I'm not joking, by the way. So I just comment through a little bit. She ended up having the most legs out of any season of The Amazing Race. Because she had offsetting competing in the second All-Star season and in season 31 with her, this time being her sister. And honestly, this season is basically Rachel Riley at her absolute worst. This is pretty much her at her absolute worst. The whining, the bitchiness, the crying, and everything. Well, when people say that might make her a great character, sometimes there's this time of, being too much, so yeah, it can be a bit too much. Like of course they got the infamous haircut sequence and her basically berating Brendan for a lot of time, which is like, oh my god. Honestly, she's probably the reason why this season is in this category, honestly. Because it probably would have been, at least it could be better, but yeah, this is easily Rachel Riley at her absolute worst, and just thinking about why I'm always so conflicted. Why do I think she definitely has her moments in season 12, 13? I think she is much better in the next 2 seasons, and even much better when she's even much better in season 1 of The Traitors. Her whiteness really does bring you to that, honestly. So I don't think there are some good moments here. Those aspects really do bring the season down to the mixed bag category. Now we'll get to season 21. Another season that has a really great stacked cast, honestly. Like James and James are fantastic characters. Again, this first time we also see Natalie and Nadia, who of course could be on Survivor. And they're just fantastic TV all around. And then you got Josh and Brent, who were a team that ended up coming near dead last in mostly every leg. Basically they finished last in the initial leg, and they were basically second to last in pretty much every leg until the finale, which makes for one of the most surprising wins ever. And that elevates this season, honestly, to where I do think it has a great cast, many great character moments, to where I'm putting it in the great win category. Then we get to season 22. And it's an interesting season. It's not a season where basically get a lot of these teams end up competing in All-Stars. And obviously nothing wrong with a lot of these teams, obviously, which we'll get into. And while those teams are great, and a lot of team members are great, this is the definition of a season that's just kind of there. Honestly, it's basically similar to season 4, honestly. Why I wouldn't say it's not just forgettable, it just doesn't really stand out. So, I'm putting it probably at the end of Solid Rush, but It's not like season aside from like obviously James and Abba losing the passports. Is that season? Yeah, that's the season. Wait, is that season? Yeah, I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, I think some seasons kind of blow together sometimes. But basically, also season had David Connor basically leaving the leg, and also got these country singers and YouTube and competing on All Stars. But not much to really say about it. Then we get to season 23, which is season I think I definitely do also appreciate a bit more on a rewatch. And some players I actually also appreciate a lot more on a rewatch. Again, you gotta remember winning team Jason Amy and Tim Maria. They got fantastic characters. Me in particular, be someone that I never really liked actually when I first watched the season, but I actually do like a lot of big character moments throughout. Especially my back with a lot of team members throughout. It's definitely one of the more unpredictable seasons of the show, to where I never knew what's going to happen throughout. And overall, just a pretty good season throughout. Too. It's probably, I'll say I probably at the end of the win, but it's still a great season. Then we get to the second All-Star season. Amazing Race All-Stars 2. And it's going in could be better category. Yeah, this season was kind of disappointing on how we watch. Now, there definitely are still a lot of pros on this watch. Also, one thing I got mentioned 23 is that also introduced Leon Jamal, who I think are some of the best characters to appear on The Amazing Race. And the end up getting All Stars. Again, fantastic characters throughout. Fantastic races throughout. Like, you just can't help but enjoy them whenever they're on screen. Like, you really just can't help but enjoy them whenever they're on the season. So many like one-liners, so many hilarious moments. And again, it's probably the first time in a while I actually do tolerate Rachel Riley, to where I actually enjoyed her. I feel like she actually grown more as a person this time around. You got the country singers actually making an impressive run on this season. They didn't do so well on most of the legs, but they ended up making a lot farther than I actually anticipated. Yeah, there definitely are some teams that I was disappointed by with the Globetrotters and Jessica and John that didn't do so well here against. But they have kind of make an impressive underdog run towards that one of the more predictable outcomes. That's still a very satisfying one. And of course, the instance we actually got a team that basically was supposed to compete at Bob and Mark, and then they end up having another team member basically beat Place Mark because someone had, I think it was appendicitis, if I remember correctly, or something like that. Which makes me pretty one of the more emotional sequences in the show's history, but again, it's just a season that doesn't really just pop, honestly. Starting to have some of these great teams. Again, Jay Connor also still great TV, William Jamal still great TV, yeah, Connor great, again, Rachel's actually more tolerable here, but it's just not the most memorable, and doesn't have any true distinct moments or any just pop moments, moments that make you think about the season and we go, oh, there's moments. After aside from the Barbara Mark opening scene, and obviously aside from the whole thing about Barbara Mark, but it's not entirely boring season, but I think they might. It's not one season where I think some of the teams that got were the most interesting to bring back. And all the placements and how the race went, I didn't really. It basically, honestly wasn't paced well at times, if I'm being honest. So I'm sorry, I'm a lot, but yeah. Also, I think it's still a decent season, but I think it does kind of drag in proportions. I think if you want issue teams would have been more fun to bring back, and I was probably disappointed with a few of the teams, honestly. So, as a whole, still a decent season throughout. Still decent. And then we get to season 25. Season 25. Now, this actually was I think this actually was one of the last seasons I actually started watching at Thursday. I think after everything from season 26 to 30, I did not watch as they were airing. But I started to get back to it after season 31, mostly because they were being a reality showdown season, but I'm not sure why, honestly, but Season 25, I think, is another great season, too. I do think it has one of the most dynamic casts in the show's history. I mean, it has some fun back and forth between a lot of the plays and a lot of the characters throughout. Like, you actually get some general fighting here. You get one of the most surprising wins in the show's history. Guys, you actually had 4 teams in the finale, which is pretty interesting. I'm missing Jim, who are probably one of the most fun dynamic teams in the show. You got Bethany, the actual Soul Surfer, which was actually pretty interesting. You got friend Keith and Whitney from Survivor, who are probably more memorable here than they were ever on Survivor. But you get some fun eliminations, some fun back and forth. It's not really much to truly criticize, but it's still a worthy season that I'm putting in the great win category. Now I get to season 26, which is I'm saying this. Season 26 is the cervical bone of the Amazing Race. What I mean by that is a season that has so many crazy, batshit insane moments. Like, it's kind of a clusterfuck in a lot of ways, but mostly because of certain teams and how the season is structured. In some ways, the season I probably shouldn't enjoy much as I did, but I just can't help but have a big grin on my face throughout. There's also been inside attempted to blind dating tour where they have I think 6 teams, then I think it was 5 teams now they build their life, and then 6 actual blind dating teams. Teams actually met on the map for the first time. Which definitely was an interesting that experiment they actually tried to do, which I think worked out pretty well. It definitely do it much better in the latest season we'll get into, but they actually done it much better in the latest season that I will get into, but it's kind of a clusterfuck of a season to what mostly because of the structure, and also one to go to team like Haley and Billy being a team that's just so a team that just constantly getting each other's throats throughout, and maybe not be for everybody, but as a whole, I just think this season is just so much fun to where I don't think it's to where I would probably put it much higher, but I'm putting it it's probably the top of the Star Rush tier, honestly, at the moment. Now we get to season 27. These are a couple seasons I don't have much to say about, honestly. It's why I wouldn't say they're bad seasons. These seasons still have much to stand out from them. This season had a team that basically won 5 legs in a row, which is insane. But seeing that is still pretty solid. Still has its moments, just not amazing moments to where I'm putting it in the end of the Star Rush category, or right here. Then we get to season 28, which is basically an internet season. Basically have a lot of internet celebrities on the season, or YouTubers and all that stuff, and it's fine. Honestly, it's the most perfectly fine, amazing race to it. Aside from Tyler and Corey, there's not much to really say about it, so it's going in the mixed bag category. Season 29. This is actually had a season where they basically had. This is where they basically have all the teams basically be team members that they met in person for the very first time. And it makes for a very wild season that's just incredibly unpredictable. Not really sure what's going to happen, not sure what interactions were going to happen, so it makes for an incredible ride throughout, to where I'm actually putting it at the top of the Great Win category. And then we get to season 30. Dirty. And this is actually where I slowly started to get back into the as it was airing. I think I watched some of this half of the season when it was airing. And I remember watching the finale being surprised that Cody and Jessica would be better ended up winning the season. But again, that's the way you do get also a pretty solid cast, some pretty fun back and forth throughout. Again, one more surprising wins with Cody and Jessica winning, to where I overall enjoyed this, and I'm putting it in the solid rush category. Okay, we have 5 more seasons to talk about, people. 5 more seasons to talk about. And then we get to Amazing Race reality shows, and the season that got me back into the actual show. This was the season that got me back into watching The Amazing Race as a whole. So I wasn't sure what to expect going back and watching season, and thankfully, we have the last season that's going in the winning race category. as okay, I would probably put this on number three, honestly. Number three here. Number three. So what this is using that basically having a Chicago style where they don't only have teams in the Amazing Race, they also have teams from Survivor and Big Brother. I'm sure they probably should have teams from Big Brother and Survivor here, but it's still made for some great conflicts and some great back and forth. It's probably one of the last seasons that actually had, general conflicts and general fights. I feel like it's a weird thing nowadays reality shows where they try to be more happy-go-lucky, which, well, I have no problem with, obviously, because someone's always a positive person. Sometimes you go to these shows for the fights and for the insanity, so yeah. Sometimes it does make for the most interesting TV. Honestly, I felt a lot. Again, Survivor, I think even Big Brother to an extent starting to get into that as well. So I feel that's like a lot of reality shows recently, they're trying to be like more positive and everything and not be like so toxic or negative, because that's probably, that's a story for another day. That's a story for that. Overall, reality show then, fantastic. And seeing Colin Christie actually win after losing season 5, fantastic moment of television. And see people in Call Victor is great. Again, that's you I actually enjoyed Rachel. Honestly, Kristen Brenner fun TV as well. Like Split and Floyd were also one of the best teams ever. Just fantastic all around. Then we get to the new portion of the season. Now we get to Amazing Race 32, which unfortunately is going in the A category. So I think it's definitely the closest guy to being battle. So it's one of those seasons. I don't think it's any fault with the teams or anything. It's just a season that actually kind of broke the Amazing Race to where basically 5 teams basically hold an alliance, and they basically just steamrolled the entire season. They basically broke the Amazing Race to the end of letting have to change this in later seasons, and that makes it like they're just drag. To all those leads obviously to a very memorable team winning Will and James, who I think are a fantastic winning team. And this is also a season where I think it hinted at a lot of the budget issues that the show has had for a while. Again, it's just it's probably the closest gotten to bad, but I think the winning team does actually save it. Then we get to season 33, which was the COVID season, where basically the first 3 legs were shot also before COVID, then COVID happened, and then 8 months later, some ended up returning. Then we're trying for a very messy season, but the wall does have some great teams to it and some great moments. There's just not really much to say to why I'm putting it in the mixed bag category. And then we get to season 34 and 35, and I pretty much feel mostly similar to these seasons, honestly. And yeah, they go for more of the happy-go-lucky thing I mentioned, to where there's not any tension or fights or anything like that throughout these seasons. And these seasons also where they actually trying to start not having a lot of eliminations at all, which does make for some interesting moments. And season 35 also started, similar to Survivor, they also started to have 90-minute episodes. And should be honest, I think maybe shouldn't have 90-minute episodes. I think this season kind of proves that. And Ian's Curtis again proves that. Because again, they don't have much content to fill 90 minutes. But I do think in the end, I would probably put season 34. I would probably put season 4 on the Solid Rush category. Season 35. I would put season 44 at the Solid Rush category. And then I would put season 5 basically at the top of the Bear category. So while they do have some memorable teams and some moments, again, the lack of tension and everything doesn't really do much for these reasons. Well, guys, that is my tier list. Every single season of the show, where in the worst, I had season 8, which is the worst. I had season 6 and 22 and 32 in that category. Season 33, season 28 and 20 at mixed bag category. 24 All Stars 2 and 35 in the good bad category. In the Star Rush, we have season 22, season 10, season 27, season 34, season 19, season 11 All Stars, season 2, season 13, season 1, season 26, and season 30. In the gaming category, we got season 23, we got season 12, season 9, season 3. In the top 10, we got season 21, season 25, season 17, season 15, and season 29. And the top 5, the anyways, the last one. Number 5 is season 18. Number 4 is season 14. Number 3 is season 31. Number 2, season 5. And number 1, season 7. That's basically all I would, actually probably all I would give to all the Amazing Race season 1 ranking I would do, honestly. So, anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this tier list ranking. I have a few tier lists I've been wanting to do for a while, so I hope you all enjoyed that. Definitely let me know your ranking down below, and again, I will leave the tier list ranking down below. I got a few tier lists I've been wanting to do for a while now, so if you want those come down below. I'm Sam World, Sam Productions. I'll see you next time. As always, stay cool, Betty. Peace.